policy is policy. You have to follow it regardless of what your opinion is. Like these two said, all we can do is, if you have an issue with it, bring it up to your administrators and go through the proper channels. As far as long hair and beards go, we're about teaching children individuality, teaching them to be an individual. You know, so it's, well, what are we telling them by telling them, well, you can't dress like this, you can't wear your hair like that. You have to brush your teeth. And I understand, you know, these policies are set in place for a reason, but I think it's something we can be a little more lenient on.
What do you think the role of the school board member is?
Well, if you look at what a school board member is supposed to do, you are the person that does hire and fire your superintendent, who your superintendent reports to, but you work together as a board with that superintendent for the best of the school district. I think to be on the school board, you need to be a person of integrity. I think people need to know they can come to you in confidence with a problem, that you can advise them on what to do and help them. I think you have to be mindful of the law of legal situations on what your role is. But I think it's a person who needs to be a leader of the community, who's committed to that school, who's committed to being part of a team, and is committed to making it better. Anyone that goes to the school board thinking you're going to change it all or it's going to just be your way, that's not what the school board's about. It's for the best of our students and our staff and our community. So you have to keep that in mind as a good role model to be on the school board.
Brandy pretty much summed it up pretty good. School board member, you know, you hire and fire the superintendent. The superintendent takes care of everybody else. You got to be a good role model. They have integrity. They got to do what's best for the school and the kids and the teachers. You know, that's why there's bylaws set in place for that reason.
Can you repeat the question?
What do you think the role of a school board member is?
Many people have different ideas of the school board. They think a lot of times they can go to the school board and make changes, which these two, I think, understand. You can't make changes, you can't go in, you got other people that you're working with. The major role of the school board, I know I've harped on this. When you learn this, you go to your trainings, you go to hours of school to listen to this. The school board is here to adopt the budget presented by the superintendent. If you don't have a budget that's in place, you lose your school. You're here to evaluate the superintendent, the hiring of the superintendent, the firing of the superintendent. And secondly, you're here for the building facilities to make sure that they are properly maintained in order to educate our people.
How should districts balance using evaluations and data for accountability and using them to help teachers improve?
We'll take the tough ones for you. Can you read it again, please?
Yeah. How should districts balance using evaluations and data for accountability and using them to help teachers improve?
Moms don't have an answer to that. Yeah, it is. I guess just data to move forward, you know, show what we can improve, what we're doing wrong, what we can change to make it better.
Teachers, they have a contract. That's like a property right. The only way that you can get love or out of a teacher If she is, it's through documentation through the principals. The principals have to be the starting point on documenting what's going on to let them know. Superintendent, us, we have to listen to what is presented to the superintendent from the principals to evaluate those teachers. It's really hard because when you're looking at those contracts, these evaluations are in place, they've been in place. We may not agree with the way the evaluations are done, but they've been put in by the state. This is the way you evaluate your teachers. It's to protect the teachers. It's to protect the school. You have to go through, and as a board member, I'm not up there every day. I don't want to be up there every day. We've hired this man here, the superintendent, to take care and do his job, and you have to put trust in what he's documenting, what his principals are documenting to handle the situation from person to
I feel I have a little unfair advantage because my mom taught school for so many years, so I know all about evaluations. I think evaluations and data are great, especially when they're done by principals who are doing them properly, by a superintendent who cares and is collecting the data in the right way. And I think as important as evaluations and data are, you can never lose sight of the human factor though. I think you really have to take into consideration and effect sometimes a first-year teacher against a teacher who's been there for 5 years. That first-year teacher may be really great, but maybe they haven't found their groove yet. I think that's where your human factor can come in to say, hey, we've invested in this person, they've done a great job. You know, maybe those test scores, maybe that evaluation, it wasn't the best, but we know from working with them day in and day out that they're going to do great things, and that is exactly where it goes down to the superintendent. You hired that person, that superintendent, to make the best decisions on that.
Jason, you're up. In your professional experience, what criteria do you use to make decisions about hiring people or the effectiveness of a course of action? Want me to read it again?
No, I think I'll probably throw this for course until I can. We have to rely on our superintendent. We have to go with what he's recommending. We may not agree with it. If we don't agree with it, we vote against it. What happens though, for the most part, on some situations, even if he's recommending and we vote against it, that doesn't give, in legalities, the contract can still stay with the teacher or whatever else. We have to go by standards. We have to go by order of how things progress through. We have to put faith in our administration to take care of business and make a decision on what we're doing.
I think we've all said the same thing. You know, when we get all these applications, I want to say I think Blackpool's extremely lucky since we're able to pay our teachers better. We do get a lot of applicants and we're able to take a lot of great teachers from that situation. So when we're hiring them, I think we're generally getting the best teachers. And if there's a problem with that teacher, I know personally from the parent side, you know, I've had a problem. And I've been able to go to my principal and to my superintendent, and we've been able to work out a resolution that was private, that wasn't a big deal, because a lot of times things are not as big as they seem, and they can be worked out. But that comes to having faith in your administration, that you know something can be worked out. Once again, we're all humans. Your teachers are humans too. You're not always going to agree with everything they say. I believe as a parent though, it's your job to support that teacher. And when you don't agree with that teacher, you don't need to be bad talking about that teacher to your child. Handle it the right way, go to the appropriate people, get the situation and the direction it needs to be going. I don't think there's any teacher on our staff that's not fully competent at performing their duties as set forth in their contracts.
Like Jason and Randy said, we hope that our administrator, our superintendent, makes the right choices. He does his homework when hiring our teachers. You know, but there's not much. Like Jason said, it's, you know, your hands are pretty much tied if there's a disagreement. But like I said, you hope our superintendent makes the right choices, and like Randy said, you just support them choices, support the teachers.
Pretty
So you talked about when a school goes, community goes. Therefore, how can the school board work with the city community to make this a better environment to attract more families to our district?
And, I think our school does a really good job of being involved in the community. I think sometimes though, we do get kind of stuck in just our own community when there's other things out there. I know personally this year, we're doing Bosses for Hope, Global Samaritan, and Sweetwater, and Roscoe and Highland were coming, and I was like, hey, Blackwell's in our school, let's bring them in. Because sometimes I think people forget we're out here. They think we're just part of St. Angelo or Robert Lee or something. So I think it's important for Blackwell to keep our presence and to have the same opportunities that all those other kids are getting. We were able to bring our 3rd through 6th graders to that and to sign boxes that were sent overseas to refugees who had lost everything. I think that's great for our school. I think it's great for our children to get to see those situations. We've just got to stay connected. Most things that the school does, they're totally community driven. The homecoming football games. I bet half the people at any of those events don't have kids that are in school currently. We come because it is a community, so our schools do a fantastic job at that.
Like Randy said, our school has a lot of support, community support. You see people at the football games. Like I said, I've been coming here for 15 years now, and I've seen the same faces at the school year after year after year at the football games. As far as how we can improve that, it's like I said, this is new to me. So, it's kind of a learn as you go type deal for me. So.
As far as what the community has and how we participate in that, I believe we should help out the community. I think we should be present and volunteering and doing that. I hate to be the devil's advocate, but at the same time, as I said before, the state aid coming in and going out, we have to keep our core money situation in check so that we can do that. From a community standpoint, I've seen through the years where we wouldn't see a superintendent anywhere out and about, being in the community, helping here, seeing him there, being at the church. Our administration, they wouldn't be out and about. I see this now. I see our administrations at the game. They're working. They're doing this. They're trying to participate in the community and help. I think we've done a good job in how our staff, our administrators are participating in the community and being part of this community. That's what makes Blackwell special, is having people, our administrators, they want to be part of the community and interact and form that family that this community really is.
This is the last question that I have, unless anybody